It feels very easy, and it really does feel like when you pick a tomato off a vine or like an apple off a tree and you're like, there's no way it's this easy.
I think it's just cool that we can have a bunch of people come out and watch the process. We don't have to take a frame out and take it back into the building. It's really cool that we can enjoy the space in the garden while we harvest honey. My name's Sylvia. I live in Portland, Oregon. And I'm a student at Lewis and Clark College, and I'm studying biology and environmental studies.
My name is Fiona Schrader. I'm a political science student at Lewis and Clark College in Portland, Oregon, and I do live in Portland, Oregon.
I've been beekeeping for about 2 years, so I learned everything I know about beekeeping at these hives.
And I saw this guy puttering around the garden, got to talking with him, and he told me, oh, you should come to one of our hive tours. And I said, beehive tours? And I was hooked immediately because I do love bees, and I've always loved bees. When I was little, I would go into my front garden and take digital photos of the bees.
Some of my friends were coming down here for a honey harvest party, and I thought it sounded fun, and we came down here, and I thought it was really cool. I think it was from this red hive back here, and that's the first time I saw the bees. I didn't even know we had bees on campus.
The Beehive's kind of founding member, Teo, started this project on his own, and Lewis and Clark as a college definitely tries to promote students being able to create their own experience at the college. I think the Beehive is definitely an example of that.
SEED was founded by undergraduate students as a club. It stands for Students Engaged in Eco-Defense, and the bees in this native pollinator garden are just a branch off of SEED Club, and so we manage this whole space. This garden in particular is all native Oregon plants. We have cassara, ocean spray, milkweed, and then outside of the garden we have lavender, we have pear trees, apple trees, a cherry tree, fig tree, and lots of blackberries.
The climate in Portland, which sits in the Willamette Valley, is very temperate, so we don't have very warm summers and we don't have super cold winters. And that gentleness is really nice for our bees. The most they have to contend with is some ice storms.
Today we went and harvested from our red hive.
We've got some. Come down and see.
We got, I don't even know how much honey, a really heavy jar of honey. So we usually have pretty light colored honey.
I will say our honey is very unique. It tastes almost like the way a mixture of herbs smells, very fresh, light, kind of flowery, also a little citrusy. It's definitely the most interesting honey, and it's the only hive that we have that produces honey like that. The red hive is up to something. It's doing some kind of magic with the citrusy honey. It's very cool. Very citrusy. Wait, I'm gonna get a little more.
Yeah, it's really good. I may be biased, but I think we have the best honey that I've tried. Honestly, from stores or other people's hives, I really like our honey.
Being a beekeeper has made me more aware of where all the honey in the grocery store comes from, and I think that a lot of it can be very it's just sweet. It's just kind of honey, it's sweet, it's yummy, it's different than sugar, but it's honey. This honey, you can definitely tell that it came from a flower, which is really cool. Eating it, I'm trying to pick out all the different flower notes in it.
With the Flow Hive, I think it's just cool that we can have a bunch of people come out and watch the process. We don't have to take a frame out and take it back into the building and do that kind of privately. It's really cool that we can enjoy the space in the garden while we harvest honey. So we did a big honey harvest event where 2 of us are up here doing this, and then a lot of students come out and watch.
The Flow Hive kind of feels like magic. Maybe that's a little bit too on the nose, but it feels very easy, and it really does feel like when you pick a tomato off a vine or an apple off a tree and you're like, there's no way it's this easy. Because for most people it isn't. You do a centrifuge and stuff, and for us that just wasn't feasible with our amount of space and everything.
A lot of people at Lewis and Clark are biology or environmental studies majors. People are really into being outside, being in nature, and I think that having the hives here really allows for that. We get to study an individual organism, which is really cool, and just see what's going on. So that's really what draws students to the bees.
A lot of students who are not necessarily biology students or environmental studies students have gotten involved. I'm an example of that. Bees aren't really mentioned in any of my classes. I definitely think they see it as a draw to other students and a representation of its values. I also think the college likes it because it just creates a connection to students amongst each other, a connection among people's peers that isn't just based around just purely social events.
I think after college I definitely will want to continue bees. It's hard when you start and then you leave and you can't beekeep. I was studying abroad in the spring, and being away from the bees was kind of sad, and it's something that you like to do every week. When you really get into it and you're always seeing them and seeing what's going on in the hive, it's a really fun visual experience, and the smells and the sounds, and it's something that I just want to keep experiencing.
There was no end goal, there was no extraneous purpose to it. I got into it because I wanted to have the experience of keeping bees. And so I think coming in with a kind of, let's see where it goes today, and I'm gonna just keep my cool, work with the bees, and be part of the system that I live in that is so beautiful. The goal is not to enjoy the bees and have a meditative, calming experience where you're in touch with nature. The goal is to give honey to your family and friends and win social acclaim. I'm kidding.
Building out this whole native pollinator garden and working with the bees has been a huge part of my college experience. It really means a lot to me. I put in so many hours staining the shed, planting all these plants, and I've made a lot of friends this way and connected with a lot of people on campus.
Connection to students amongst each other, a connection among people's peers that isn't just based around like just purely social events, creates a legacy for students to see 10 years from now. My name is on a plaque down there, and I hope to be able to come back 10 years from now and see my name in the same place next to the bees still thriving, which of course might not happen, but we imagine that the bees are always going to be here and that people will enjoy it for years to come.